What is going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome back to the channel. So we just got season 6 of the finals, and with it we got some brand new scopes to check out. There's two new ones specifically, the Adder Reflex and the Looking Glass, which are amazing, and we'll take a better look at these in a second. But the Holographic and the Compact Reflector have made an appearance on a few weapons as well, and at least for the medium, these are now available for the AKM, the FCAR, the Famas, and the brand new CB01 repeater. If you're thinking about picking any of these up, I'm hoping to save you some in-game currency by kind of showing you exactly how they look on each weapon. I've got some timestamps in the description, so feel free to jump ahead to the weapon you're most interested in. One thing to note though, I ran into a weird yellowing glitch, kind of like a weird reflection on one of the scopes with the AKM specifically. Not sure if this is a visual bug when you run that certain scope with certain skin, but it may be worth keeping an eye on just in case it ends up, being something that you want to run. It could be potentially distracting. Now, lastly, just to reference, I'm playing on a 27-inch display with a 95 FOV at 1080p, so it may look a little different from your point of view, but just remember that sight and weapon combos plus FOV are all personal preference. I'm just trying to give you kind of a solid look about how each scope feels. I would also really love to know what sight weapon combo that you're using. Please let me know. I'm very curious. Feel free to check the timestamps, find your favorite gun, and see what you think of the new sights. All right, first we're starting it off with the old vanilla ice cream. The AKM, old trusty, your best friend growing up. This thing is one of the GOATs. It is an extremely solid, well-rounded weapon, got a decent time to kill, has a great magazine. You can take down 2 to 3 people with one magazine. It's a really solid gun. It has a pretty decent range too, low recoil, pretty easy to control. Honestly, this gun is amazing. This was one that I was maining for a really long time before I switched to the Famas. This thing, and I have so many memories. But in regards to the Iron Sights, I think they're okay. I definitely would say that now with the addition of all the new sights and scopes, and some being brought over to the AK, the Iron Sights are no longer in even the top 3 that I would choose. There's just far better options in terms of zoom, clarity. I would definitely go with one of the alternatives that we're going to talk about here. Now, the Adder Reflex, one of the new sights that's come to the game, I really like how easy it is to track with this scope. It's got a 1x magnification, it has a great reticle, it's not very distracting. The reticle is small and still allows you to see everything that's going on around you, and this is definitely a must run with the AK. Definitely would put it in my top 3. But I will say that there is that strange yellowing that I was talking about in the intro that I noticed kind of as I was using it, and I'm not sure if that's just the sight itself or if that's just the training area. I don't know. Hopefully this gets fixed in the future, but I would hate for this to happen or something of the sort that becomes more of a distraction than a benefit. But this sight I definitely think should go in your top 3 for use. Okay, now continuing off with the Compact Reflector, I definitely think this is it's a solid scope all around. This is one that we've had for a while now. This is the one I've been using for the past couple months before season 6 came out and gave us some new sights. I definitely think it struggles a little bit at range due to the larger reticle, especially as you can see as I start shooting the training dummy that's about 50 meters out. Sometimes it might seem like you're on target and you may be missing just a little bit. That might be dependent on resolution / FOV. But again, it all boils down to personal preference, but I definitely think it's a solid scope either way. Now, the holographic is not new to the game, but it's new to the AK, which is honestly pretty refreshing. I feel like the holographic has a really good feel on the AK. I love the tiny center dot. It allows for a little more precision than the compact reflector. The sight is a little big, I'll give it that, but it definitely is a little more precise in my opinion. I would say that it definitely is positioned higher in terms of where I would put it on my scale of, ranking, but I definitely think the holographic is worth using on the AK as well, and is effective at long range. We've made it to the second new scope, the Looking Glass. Honestly, in my opinion, again, my opinion, this is the best sight of the two that I got added to the game. I feel like the small frame around the optic is really clean, as well as the glass and the little green reticle. I still feel like it's easy to see enemies at long range. You'll notice that on the dummy that was at 50 meters out, I was able to put more bullets downrange and hit than any other scope. I feel like it was actually allowing me to hit those shots clearly. It was surprisingly way easier than the other scopes. I haven't had an opportunity to use it in actual gameplay with the AKM, but from the other guns that I've used with this scope, to me it feels like a clear #1 choice. This is definitely the scope that I'm running with the Famas. I feel like it's the best pair, but hey, I would love to know what's your current pick. Please tell me. I'm very curious. What FOVs you're running, what resolution, what monitor size, what works for you. Now, all of the sights are going to be kind of going through in the background as we talk about a few more things. It would seem a little repetitive if I were to go through and kind of talk about the similar things on all these scopes. They kind of give the same result for each gun, but if you're really curious, again, check the timestamps, go to the specific scope with a specific gun combo that you would like to see, and see if it, gives the result that you'd like. Aside from the scopes, Season 6 has actually brought us many new awesome things. Team Deathmatch became a permanent mode. I was really glad that this got brought back because Team Deathmatch is the perfect place to be able to test, certain builds, just get practiced with using things such as DMAT or jump pad. It gets you warmed up. The wonderful thing is there's now 6 different maps that you can play it on, as opposed to just a few when we had it as a limited time mode. Really awesome. For those of you PowerShift players, I'm sure you were really excited to hear that you can now play on Bernal as well as the Las Vegas Stadium. It's a really nice change of pace. I'm really glad that they added some new arenas, especially with the things that they're hoping to do with the tournaments related to PowerShift. PowerShift is definitely going to be one of those modes that we may see more prevalent in the finals community. Another really exciting thing that has come this season was quick play progression. A lot of people aren't just wanting to get on and play World Tour or Ranked, although there are awesome rewards that come with playing those modes. Sometimes it's just not what you're feeling, especially because it is the same mode and quick play is a way to get a little bit of a change of pace. But now you can earn other rewards for playing Team Deathmatch, PowerShift, and earn quick play points and get various rewards. I'm sure that will change and get better in coming seasons, but it's really cool to see that this kind of system is being integrated. There's been customizations to the outfitting system and being able to change and create outfits. I believe you can now save up to 24 outfits at any time. Although the system's a little interesting, I've noticed that there's some quirks I've noticed that in a couple times I've changed a cosmetic and it seems to create an entire new outfit. I'm wondering if these quirks are going to be ironed out. I'm not really sure how this system is going to work, but I think either way, the system is cool. The store got a bunch of changes. The practice range, as I'm kind of showing now, it got a few cool changes where the dummies now react to your equipment exactly how other players would. It's really awesome to see and gives you a better idea of how your gadgets and gizmos may affect other players. Streamer mode has been added and privacy options, adding a little bit of secrecy to who you are. Being we get it. We understand you need your privacy. It's all good. There's also been tons of new changes to gadgets and equipment. There's been slight changes to like the glitch grenade, as well as like the APS turret and the data reshaper. For those of you lights, the gravity vortex got an insane buff. One of my favorite changes were the area canisters, the red barrels around the map. They used to have a really long fuse time, so you'd throw them at a wall and they just bounce around like a lunatic. But now most of them actually explode when they hit the wall, Sometimes you may get a bounce periodically, but for the most part, they're going to explode when they hit a wall or an object. They made slight adjustments to the light's cloaking device where it's a little easier to see now. I have noticed that as just playing the last few days of ranked tournaments and such, it's a little bit easier to find the lights when they go invisible. It was a little hard to deal with when they increased its duration. I think the durations were good, but now it's a little more of a device that's used for blending rather than chasing people around and just kind of sneaking up on them. It's definitely capable of that, but I think that's the spin they're trying to take on it. The winch claw got an insane buff. The winch claw increased maxed range by a couple meters. It added stun durations on hit. I mean, everybody and their dog that's playing a heavy is using the winch claw right now. If you've used it before and you turned away from it because you didn't think it was that good, try giving it another try. I guarantee the differences are going to surprise you. And definitely being on the recipient end of this is the worst. In terms of weapon changes, the AKM and a few other guns got improved recoil interpolation, which just makes the weapon feel slightly smoother when it recoils. The recoil pattern stays the same, but just some of the first-person camera movement has been adjusted and cleaned up a little bit. It just makes it so that it looks nicer to use. Makes it feel like your gun's not getting away from you as much. Although it didn't say that the sword got a buff in this update. I think the dagger and the sword both themselves have become a plague this season. I swear I've been getting absolutely destroyed by so many lights lately using daggers and swords. It's very hard to deal with right now, especially with the dashing and the lunging, but we'll see how long these changes last. Who knows, maybe some of them will get adjusted or tuned up a little bit, but right now they're pretty crazy. So if you're one of those folks who's using one of these melee weapons, I mean, tell me if the change is actually substantial and noticeable on your side. The FCAR got a huge change. The first 7 bullets you used to fire had a pretty crazy recoil, but now they've reduced that to 5. So after you fire those first 5 crazy shots, the weapon's definitely going to be more stable. I mean, they made it more stable overall, but I still feel, and again, this is my own opinion, I still feel that with the amount of ammo that the FCAR has, I just don't feel like it's a top contender for the medium class right now. The LH1 got a huge nerf. The damage got decreased by 6, which was fair considering it was outclassing almost every gun. You know, it's now been brought back. It's been humbled. It's great because a lot of lights used to be running this, and I don't think that there's been a light, maybe 1 or 2. I don't think beyond a few, a very select few, have I seen running the LH1. So it definitely got hit hard. The M11 got a little bit more effective range, but big time, the XP54 became crazy. Everybody is running that. I mean, I'm getting deleted by this thing. Which is honestly well deserved because that gun used to be pretty bad. You definitely was outclassed by the M11, but now they're kind of neck and neck depending on the situation that you're in. And aside from this, there's a lot of bug fixes and a lot of changes that were made, and I really have to say props to Embark, props to the devs, props to all those who really care about this game. You can tell when developers care about the game that they make and they enjoy the game. As a consumer of the product and player of the game, it's definitely awesome to be playing a game that the devs care. Not a lot of games right now seem to be held to this standard. Definitely hats off to the devs for all that they do for us. I mean, just skimming through the bug fixes and changes and all the content adjustments, it's just page after page after page. They're thorough, they're careful, they're considerate of players and feedback. A lot of changes that they make are based off feedback. They listen, they love us, they appreciate us. It's definitely one thing that goes underappreciated. But I tell you what, I would rather be playing a game where the devs care and that I know that they have a future planned out for the game, rather than at least playing a multiplayer game that, you know, seems to be fairly stale because not much effort is being put into it. I'm actually curious because I didn't talk about this, but what do y'all think of the ranked tournament scoreboard update, as well as seeding and ranking being hidden from other people? This has been something that I've seen a lot of complaints about, as well as a lot of praise on mostly Reddit, at least. Honestly, I think it's a positive change because, you know, you have to have an interaction with all the players to know their play style, what they're like, how difficult of opponents they are. A lot of people don't like this, and maybe those people that don't like it were the ones that were doing a little more of the targeting. Who knows? I mean, I love the change in my opinion. I think it's really awesome that all that information's hidden, and it makes it a little more immersive because you have to actually go and gather the information about the teams that you're playing against, rather than just scoreboard stock and wait to go in and overwhelm a couple of them because, you know, they're either low or almost dead. I'm very curious to hear what you all think about the ranked tournament changes. Honestly, again, I think they're a plus. Now that you've actually been able to see some of the sights for yourself, you know, which one are you leaning towards? I think regardless of the changes, whether you feel like they're poor or good, this season has honestly been extremely beneficial for content. It's brought us some new weapons. I mean, we have the minigun, the ARN, as well as the repeater. Are you guys running any of these new guns? I've only tried the minigun and the repeater. The minigun's crazy, but I'm not a heavy main myself. I'm definitely a medium fan, and I'm not sure where I want the repeater to kind of fit in my playstyle. What's your go-to setup this season? I mean, there's new scopes, weapon balance changes. Are you rocking old guns, an old favorite, or, you know, are these new changes making you kind of rethink your loadout? What have you found out that's working for you? Now, is there anything that you're hoping that they add to the game in the future? One of the things that I was talking about before scopes came with season 6 was I think it would be fun to at least change up a couple reticles with each scope. I'm not talking Call of Duty here where you have like 50 reticles. Being able to change or maybe fine tune the reticle within the scope itself would be a really cool adjustment. I'm not ever, you know, hoping or banking on the fact that that's going to get added to the game. I just feel like it would be a nice quality of life improvement. Just being able to adjust the small dot a little bit, especially on like the compact reflector where the dot seems a little bit big, where at range it seems almost too large, where I might be missing shots because I'm overshooting either to the left or to the right of their body. Take a tiny little bit of that scope and turn it into a little more precise of a scope. That would be awesome. But hey, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Really appreciate the support lately. I'm gonna close out this video by talking about the repeater again now that it's on screen. Honestly, the repeater hits harder than my dad, and you pair that with a good scope and this thing is unstoppable. I mean, you just have to have the aim to match it up. One of the things that I do like about the repeater though is that if you shoot all 8 bullets, then you can quick reload a tube of 5 as you're watching here. I think it almost becomes a strat where what you should do is shoot down your entire clip and then reload the chamber of 5 and then just work with those 5 alone. And then once you go to reload, it'll just whoop, you have your 5 more bullets and then you keep going. As long as you hit your shots, it'll be an effective weapon. That's for sure. It's practically, I mean, it's effective at every range. I'm wondering if we'll get a higher zoom scope for this in the future. Like maybe something along the lines of like an AKOG. I feel like if we got an AKOG for this, it would definitely put it about toe to toe with the pike, and they'd both be kind of used in the same scenario, except I think it just hit a little bit harder. I definitely think the gun is good. I think it just has a certain place in your playstyle. For those of you maining this thing, has it worked out when you've gotten used to it? Does it seem to be hitting like it should? I'm curious because I gave it a fair shot for probably an hour or two, got a little bit of gameplay with it. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to make the switch or not, so I'd be very curious. I just wanted to say one more time, thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it. Finals is one of those games that's really growing on me. I enjoy making this content and I hope to make much more. Please sub, it really means the world to me. Drop a like, drop a comment, stick around. If there's anything that you'd like to see in the future related to the finals, questions you have that haven't been answered yet, I'd love to find the answers for you. But hey, thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.